Tonight, we're bringing you a very personal look at the immigration crisis along the southern border in Texas.
Thousands of children have been separated from their parents and put into separate detention facilities. The story, of course, making national headlines in recent days.
Yeah, 7 Action News reporter Alan Campbell lived along the southern border in Texas for years, and he joins us now in the studio with an inside look at what's happening from two people who are right in the middle of it all. Alan.
Well, Glenda, Dave, you know, this is a story I've seen and I've actually reported on before. I lived in the Rio Grande Valley for 4 years. I worked as the morning anchor at an ABC affiliate. I have friends there, some who are Border Patrol agents, others work for Customs and Border Protection. Seeing children being separated from their families at the border is heart-wrenching. Then taken to detention facilities all throughout the Rio Grande Valley. Many undocumented immigrants swim across the Rio Grande. Many actually never make it to the U.S. side. Others simply wait along bridges from the state of Tamaulipas, waiting for asylum. I spoke with a few friends tonight via FaceTime about what is happening there now, what President Trump's executive order means moving forward, and if we can expect to see more stories of hurt, anguish, and pain.
We're trying our best to deal with our job to help the families.
Sister Norma Pimentel is with Catholic Charities, an organization dedicated to helping those in need.
You see the child in some cases, that the child there's some sense of trauma that may have experienced. You know, anybody separated from their mom will feel worried about whether I'm going to see my mother again.
My first story along the border was reporting on more than 70 undocumented immigrants living in an orchard, men, women, and young children.
This orange grove here housed more than 70 illegal immigrants for about 2 weeks. Inside this hut here, you can see there's a full mattress, blankets, and even a soda can.
Right now, thousands of children are separated from their parents. They're staying in detention facilities under the watchful eye of Border Patrol.
We're right in the middle of one big surge right now. I mean, one of our shifts, one of our evening shift just at my station, we'll see on a slow day 150 people.
Chris Cabrera with the National Border Patrol Council was busy rescuing people from recent flooding in South Texas when I called him, but says agents are working around the clock.
We don't have the manpower that's needed to make it run efficiently as far as securing the border and making sure everything's processed in a timely manner. But our agents managed to get it done anyway.
President Trump is working to keep families together. He recently signed an executive order putting a halt to the family separation policy.
Changes on executive order to not separate the families is wonderful. I'm glad that took place.
For now, all we can do is watch what is happening, and hope something can be done.
They manage and take care of the child in the best way they can. And I think that will continue to happen with these kids that were separated. And at some point, hopefully, they will be reunited with their parents.
And as I said before, you know, I lived in the Valley for several years. I reported on the immigrant crisis before, different surges like back in 2014. But I have to tell you, I've never seen anything like the hurt and pain that these children and parents are going through right now.
Certainly, there's been detention before, but not the separation. Yet this isn't going away anytime soon, right? I mean, more and more are going to continue to come, and the U.S. is going to have to continue to deal with this issue.
Absolutely. As you heard Chris Cabrera say there, that on a slow day, an 8-10-hour shift, they get about 150 people who they catch coming across the border illegally. So that's on a slow day. But on average, right about now, according to Border Patrol numbers, it's about 200 to 250 a day.
So you're out in that orchard, you know, when you're covering that story, and we saw the video there, and you're with families literally risking their lives for the promise of a better life.
Right.
What is that like, being there with them and their children?
I mean, it's hard because, you know, if you're in a different part of the state, you're in a northern state, like say here in Michigan, and you see something that's going on down there, you can't really relate to it unless you're there. Being down there, you ask them, why are you leaving? Well, they're saying because of the cartel violence, the human trafficking, the drug trafficking, the human smuggling. That scares families, so they'd rather take that risk, come across the border illegally, live somewhere where it appears to be safe, than risk, you know, losing their lives or having their children killed in Mexico. Yeah.
Well, and they're coming from all parts of the world, you know, to European countries, here certainly from Mexico, from Central America to the U.S. It's a humanitarian crisis for sure.
Absolutely. And as you heard there, you know, President Trump just signed that executive order. Right now, we're still waiting, as Chris mentioned to me a little earlier tonight, they're still waiting to figure out exactly how that's going to go into play and how they're going to be able to keep those children and the parents together. So that's still an ongoing issue as well.
And
with all the Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, and bringing those who have been separated
Right.
back together again, and that's going to be a huge issue.
Yeah, trying to figure out where their parents went, where they are, you know. So there's a lot of work still to come, but
A lot of work. A lot of policy, a lot of rules, but they're still just children.
Yeah.
And they're still just families.
Exactly, and that's the hardest part, is seeing those kids separated from their mother and father and hearing their cries.
All right, Alan, thank you for that up-close personal look at what
Absolutely.
happens.